Today we're going to talk about the Roxon M2. Now the reason why it's in this package I will explain a little later. This is Haku EDC, and this is just a quick review of the Roxon M2. The Roxon M2 is a 14-in-1 multi-tool. The reason why I have it here is because it is not really a keychain tool, even though people sometimes consider it that. It is a little large for a keychain tool. This is like a typical keychain tool here, and I think that this would be considered a large keychain tool, which is the mini flagship by Nextool. This is the other Roxon M3 that is, and then you get into the 91mm Swiss Army knife, the Wave, and the Surge. These three I would consider normal size or large size multi-tool with the Wave, and this Victorinox has the small end of that. These I would consider two medium size, and these are the small keychain size. So we're going to talk about though the M2 right now. Here's the Roxon M2, 14 different implements. One of the things that it does come with is a sheath, which is okay, not anything spectacular. Also comes with 9 bits and a bit holder here, and I'll talk about that a little later. Now, like a lot of mid-sized multi-tools, it usually has like 1 or 2 tools that are considered like a hero tool, and then it has 7 or 8 tools that are just other tools that pretty much every multi-tool will have. And then they usually have, when they have more than about 10 or 11, then they have 2 or 3 tools that you always go, now who's going to use this, or how does this get used? And I'm going to talk about that with this particular Roxon M2. Now it does come with a clip, and this clip is nice because you can put it on a belt, you can attach it to a pocket, or you can actually put it inside of a nice pouch if that's what you have. It's small enough to do that. Now let's go through some of the things that it does have here. It has a pair of pliers, and the pliers are spring loaded, and they're needle nose pliers at the end are really good. You can use them to pick up some fine stuff with, and they work really well. The other thing that it has, if you can see in there, it says it has some wire cutters. Those wire cutters are what I would call average or below average for most mid-sized multi-tools. They, to get them to work, you're gonna have to twist it around to get it to work for a lot of wired material, at least the ones that I've tried. Then the other thing I'm going to talk about here is that it does have one hero tool, and this hero tool are these scissors, and these scissors are really good. They do a good job of cutting through paper. They cut through cardboard without an issue at all. If you needed some paracord cut, they will do that. Oops, I guess not as well as I thought. Here we go. Yep, they will do that. And also, if you needed to cut some wire, they actually do a pretty decent job of cutting wire. I'm just going to cut off a little piece of wire here on this particular piece here. And so they actually cut wire better than the wire cutters, in my opinion. Here, let me just do that one more time for you to show you. And I'll do one more time of the paracord just to show you that it does cut paracord. Not as good as I would like it to, but it will do that. Oops, let me do that here. There we go. Cut it toward the end. So these scissors are really good compared to other scissors that are on mid-sized multi-tools. The other nice thing that it has on the other side, if you look for it, it has a box opener, a box cutter. So if you have a box, you know, you're cutting down the middle, this works really well. This isn't a good example, but basically you would do that, and then that would open it up, you know, with the tape across it. It works really well. It has your typical, and then the other implements have your typical all bottle cap opener, and you know, those things are kind of okay. I mean, there's nothing special. Can open bottle opener all, but the box opener is really good, and I think that's almost bordering on another hero tool that a lot of people would actually want to use. The other side here, oops, let me get out the other side here. Let me close this down first. The other side here is this knife. Now this knife isn't very long. It is effective, but it's not going to be a great knife. You know, it can cut through cardboard. It does a decent job with paper. You know, but expect to, you know, if you use it a lot in like a year's period of time, you're going to expect to need to sharpen it. So just be aware of that. It does lock in place. It's got a nice little liner lock there. There we go, close it down. And so that's what you have on this side. On the other side, you have things that are a little more interesting. One is this particular tool here, which is, this particular tool is a file and a nail cleaner. Now, once again, this is one of these tools where there's going to be a few people that are going to want to use the nail file, but the nail cleaner, you know, that will be nice for some people, but for most people it won't get used. But the tool that might get used is this Phillips here. This Phillips is really nice. It does work with screws. The other nice thing about the Phillips is that if you were to wanted to use a 4mm bits, you put this over the top of it, and then you can put in your 4mm bits, and then you can use it as a screw. Just be aware that while it's magnetic, it's not really a strong magnet. If for some reason, since there's only 9 of these, and these are not the 9 that you want to have, you can go and get other 4mm ones. I just chose these at random here, and then you can put those in there. But just be aware, you know, it may not be as good. This one is sort of a longer one that you can use, and this is sort of the normal size one that's already in there. Let me just grab it here. And this is in case you want to use something there. Now, it doesn't seat super well, so just be aware of that. But like I said, if you wanted to use something else besides the one that you have there, you could literally just take it out, put it back in. And both this kit and the multi-tool fits inside of this, and I'll show that at the end. I'll put this back together again. Now, the other thing here that this has, that I'm going to talk about, is at the bottom here, it has this glass breaker. It's pretty, number one, it's pretty small. It's pretty in a weird position. I'm not sure how effective that this would be in any situation, and I would not depend on it in an emergency inside your car. In other words, if you were thinking, oh, you know, my car is going to go underwater, quote unquote, and I'm going to have to break the glass, and so I'm going to put this next to my dash, 99% of the time, this is not going to work. In fact, most of the time, these glass breakers in sort of this emergency situation are not very successful. But you know, you're welcome to try. They're better than nothing else. So the two things that are, once again, the sort of hero tools that people may want to use is this Phillips head, because it is really good Phillips head. While it's not locking, it's pretty tight in there, and that you can use 4mm bits, has add-ons that you can carry with you. I also like the scissors here, that are just really pretty amazing for something that is this size, you know. And I think that the pliers are helpful if you're using something that's small. The other tools, as I said, are just typical tools that you would have on there, you know, can opener, all, bottle opener, those kinds of things. So with the M2, like I said, this will fit inside there. You can put this in. I tend to actually put this in and use it, and use the clip to hold it in place, and I put this in back of it. So now I have the whole thing together if that's what I wanted to do and wanted to carry it. The M2 is about 30 bucks on Amazon. There are a number of other tools in that category of pricing. This multi-tool is one that you would consider if you wanted to make sure that you use scissors a lot, and that you're going to use the box opener and occasionally do some work on maybe like a drone or other small computer. That's my review of the M2. See you in the future. This Haku is called Roxon. Roxon metal blade, slicing through the toughened wood, carving out a shape. This is Haku Dude. See you in the future.